So now to the practical part. You have been thinking about what to present, you have made your preparations according to your plan that you have developed at the very beginning. Now let's assume you have done most of the work for your presentation, the slides are there, now it's time to practice. And there's just some easy guidance for it. Your part, if you have, say, 20 minutes, 10 or 20 slides, your part will be 2 or 3 slides and 3 to 5 minutes. That's it. And that's what you have to prepare for. And you have to rehearse your part. It's only 2 or 3 slides. It's only 3 to 5 minutes. Practice to talk about your subject, about the slides that you want to present without speaking notes, without reading from a phone or from a piece of paper or anything like this. In that moment, you have to demonstrate your knowledge, your engagement with the subject, and your engagement with the audience. You have to be able to stand there or sit, like in my case, but in the project presentations, typically stand there and talk about what you want to share. Only if you talk freely, you can also register whether people are frowning or look like they didn't understand, so you can immediately react. And you can maybe spend one more sentence that you didn't plan, but you add one more sentence to explain something a little more. And then you hopefully look into more clear faces that are happy again that they got the point. Yeah? Practice your part individually. Make sure that you use your 2 or 3 minutes or 5 minutes to your best advantage, so you demonstrate your professionalism and your knowledge about the subject that you're presenting. Yeah? So do not read from a tablet, a phone, a paper, or anything. You can prepare speaking notes, of course, but don't use them if you actually are doing it. Because if you are reading something, you also get lost. You might be nervous, then you remember, oh, I should look into the audience sometimes, and then you look back, you don't know anymore where you have been. It all looks awkward. Try to talk freely. And there's no issue with language. There's no issue with sometimes stumbling or saying half a sentence where you don't find a way out. It happens to me, it happens to anyone. There is no issue at all. No one sort of will notice that in a bad way. No one is speaking always 100% perfect. Some people do, they are professional, they are moderators on TV. There are all sorts of people who get a lot of money for this, and they really do train this hours and hours per day, every day. We are not that. We are normal people sharing about academic work. So there is no issue if you stumble over language or over some grammar a little bit. Don't worry about this. But you have to know your part. Rehearse individually, but also rehearse as a group. What's the timing? How long does every individual have for sharing their part? Stick to that timing for the benefit of the group. Also be clear about the handover points. Who is speaking after whom, and what are the key words that are coming? What's the last slide of the previous presenter, so that you, individual, know when is your turn. Yeah? Or make it explicit. That's also good if we say, okay, that's what I wanted to share. The next part is explained by my friend so-and-so. Yeah? You can make it very clear, okay, that was mine, now it's the next one. So that you are not shocked as the next one, if it's your turn. Yeah? Find out what works best for you. Maybe it's clear through the slides, maybe it's clear through the way how you express, how you talk. Maybe you make it clear by really formally handing over to the next person. All fine. Just be clear as a team how you want to do it, and stick to it in your actual presentation. Also, the last part here, all the preparations, all the practice, all the, oh, I can do my part in 3 minutes, might go overboard if you actually stand there and talk. So have each other's backs. Have someone who is not talking to sort of watch the time and watch the scope that the person who is talking, that is covering or consuming. And sort of inform each other that time is up. Yeah? Also agree on what you do to help each other to, for example, stick in the, to the time frame. Yeah? It's a team delivery. Don't think, oh, I've said my part, I can mentally go to sleep, I let the others do. No, stay with the presentation, follow through. Realize if your buddy from the project is getting stuck somewhere or is talking much too long and the last one will only have 5 seconds for 3 slides. Yeah, that won't work out. Help each other throughout the course of the presentation and practice that together in the first place. Now, directly into the performance, the actual presentation on the day. Of course, come early. The few minutes that you have been waiting for, they sometimes come faster than you think. Prepare also for that on the particular day. Understand that this is a presentation of your professional self. So the first thing is, and maybe I'm super old school in this, but I know that other supervisors think the same, dress appropriately. It doesn't have to be overdone. You don't have to come in a smoking or in an evening dress for the ladies. But you should also not come as other people go to the beach. Yeah? You have been working on something for many, many months and you are presenting this to the audience. So dress a little bit appropriately. It's a reflection of how you honor this moment, this event, your audience and yourself in this context. Of course, be on time. Come early, meet your team, sort of get into the mood of presentation together, maybe run quickly through, okay, so I'm doing this, you're doing this. Yeah, just talk it through, get a little bit of comfort for yourself. Everyone is nervous, but together you got it. And align one last time on your own parts and how they fit into the overall presentation. Always present yourselves as one team. You are not 5 people trying to survive their presentation minutes. You are one team presenting one work to one audience. So, few pictures, moderately nicely dressed people with the green face, that's okay. I just took that from the internet. You see an assembly of purple shirts and purple ties. So taste is one thing, but at least they wear shirts and that's all right. Yeah? That's what I meant. That's beachwear, shorts, slippers. Don't do it like this. Yeah? Appreciate that moment and do something for yourself. Dress up nicely. Maybe you take photos around it before, maybe during even, someone snaps a photo, or after, make a team photo afterwards. You can remember it as, hey, this is how we looked like, how we presented ourselves. Yeah, it's nice memories to have afterwards, actually. Yeah, and that's present yourself as a team. You are all in it. You worked through it for weeks and months. Now that's the last opportunity, the final moment, the penalty shootout, where you one last time at least stick together and you deliver together. In the presentation itself, get your technology ready quickly. Yeah, that's what I said before. Be clear, what's the setup in the room? If your time starts, it starts. You go to the front, you plug in what you need to plug in. You can bring a timer if you want to. That's the only thing I would say that's helpful. And you see that on stages. That's a stage view of a presenter, the audience in the background. You sometimes have your slides that you see, and you always have a timer so that as the speaker, you can watch the time if that is helpful. So this is something you can bring, maybe on an iPad, put it on a seat where everyone can, from the presenting part, from the presenting team, can see the timer, so you can watch the clock together. That's all right. Speaking notes don't do. Yeah. So if you start, come on stage, fix the technology, greet the audience, introduce yourselves very quickly, and radiate some eagerness to share your results. Sort of show that you are up for the task, that you are sort of happy to be here. Yeah, stage view with a timer, that is very normal to do. During your presentation, stick to the timing. Yeah, it's your showcase, but also you need to still stick to the plan. So go through with all the preparation that you have, but don't fall into the trap of talking more about it and another sentence about the same thing and explain everything one more time and another time. Yeah, you're eating up the minutes of your presentation, you're eating up minutes of the next person presenting after you. Don't talk too much about the same thing, and don't talk about unplanned things, except if there is directly a question or you feel the need to explain something because many in the audience are frowning and seem to get lost. Then quickly add something that helps with the understanding, but know that you actually need to cover up for this time because it was not planned to talk about this in the first place. Yeah? As I said before, help each other, keeping the time or keeping rolling. If someone gets stuck, doesn't find the next thing to talk about, help out. You have heard it, if you practice it together, you have heard it a couple of times before. You are not speaking at the moment, so you should actually have a clearer mind to help the person speaking to find the next point if that person gets stuck. Yeah? Be alert, just be present, stay in the flow for the whole 20 minutes. We have seen it in the past that someone who delivered on their slides then thought, I've done my part. And while I'm waiting for the others, I actually need to check my WhatsApp. I need to do this, I need to do that. That's awful. That's disrespectful to your own team. That's disrespectful to the audience. You are there as a team to deliver everything as a whole. Stay together and help each other. Be always there to be ready to jump in. So you're always a team, even always only one person is speaking at the individual time. Once you're through, ideally in your time frame, no issues, no hurry at the end, wrap it up nicely. Do not skip the results. Yeah? If you are running out of time somehow, try to compress somewhere else, but make sure that after your shortcut, you still have time to share the final results, the most important part that you actually want to come to, the part that answers your research question, that satisfies the motivation that you have shared at the beginning. Don't leave it open at the end. The audience cannot imagine what you want to share, what the outcome should be, if you are not talking about it. So make sure your message overall is coming across, and emphasize one more time, your contribution as a team to the field of work. What is it that you have contributed that is maybe new, that is interesting about your work? So that at the end of the presentation, the audience has maybe one more time at the beginning of the presentation and at the end heard what is the new thing? What is my takeaway that I should remember from this presentation? So those last 1 or 2 minutes in your presentation are very, very important. Also, the person speaking those last minutes, presenting the results, has to practice this very much. To say, okay, if I only have 2 minutes, this is what I will say. If for some reason I only have 1 minute, this is my 1 minute version. Yeah, you have to mentally prepare what is my shortcut if I have to take one. And you can also prepare for this, and you should be doing it. And then at the end, if you have done all of this, if you have shared the takeaway one more time, it's time for the Q&A. And you can actually also take the lead. If you know what you have prepared, maybe in additional slides for the presentation, you can actually trigger some questions, because you will always find that sometimes if the Q&A is opened, audience supervisors maybe are hesitating to ask a question. Maybe they don't know what to ask, maybe they are unsure what to ask, they don't actually want to hurt by asking a very difficult question. So own that moment too. You can say, okay, now our presentation is over. Now we are moving into the Q&A, and we could actually share about how we did the work, how we did this. We could show a bit of program, or we could show a live demo of the website that we created. Give some ideas if you have prepared for it. Maybe you are lucky. Maybe the audience, your supervisors, are following your lead, are exactly asking these things, and then you are prepared for it, and there's no better way to get through a Q&A to be prepared for the question. If you get a very surprising question, you have to make up your answer on the spot, on the fly, being nervous, being exhausted. Think about this difficult question. If you can give your own question as an intuition to your audience, the outcome potentially is easier to manage. If you get a surprising question, make sure you understand. Clarify the question if necessary. Yeah? Repeat what you understood. Oh, you are asking about this or that detail. And then maybe you have a specialist in your team. If the question is about a particular topic, maybe that person presenting this topic should be going first. But you can always make a small circle and say, okay, the question was this, how do we answer? And chip in ideas, 5 seconds, make a little circle, clarify how you want to answer, and then one of you is answering to the audience. Yeah? It's actually making a very good impression if you assemble as a team, if you clarify how you want to answer, and then you give a clear answer that also has the confidence of the team again behind it. If there's a difficult question and one individual has to answer directly, maybe that person is not so confident. Maybe that person thinks, I have to say something, but what am I saying? And then the outcome is not optimal. Clarify the question, take a few seconds to clarify your answer if you want to, and then use the time to actually answer. And once you have given an answer, you can also ask, did we answer your question? Is that satisfactorily answered? To see whether there is still something left open or not. Yeah? It's also just a good practice to do so. So if also Q&A is over, if time is up completely, then it's time to go. Thank the audience again for their attention, for sticking with you, maybe for asking wonderful questions that you have prepared for. Just say, communicate again with the audience. Maybe if there was some comment that something wasn't quite clear in the report or wasn't super clear in the presentation, if you take an action away, mention this one more time, say, okay, thank you very much. We noted that we should clarify this one table, or the graph was not clear, we will redo it and put it into the final report. Just summarize the action if there is any. And then, again, as a team, assemble and leave the stage or leave the area of presentation. Greet the audience one more time, nod your head, mentally say thank you for your attention one more time, and leave like that. Yeah, make it a joint disappearing from stage, rather than everyone individually, done, finally, sinking into yourself and chaotic disappearance from stage in many different directions. So always be professional, be courteous, explicitly or implicitly. That helps you a lot. The audience, your supervisors, your bosses, your teammates, if you apply this, they will think very positively of you. It will add to your competency that you have shown in a very professional way. Final point of those 5 segments, the passion. So you can think of the project presentation as, that's part of my curriculum. I have to do a project and then I have to make a presentation. And if you think that you have to do it, then it feels like you don't want to do it. It's something that is a burden to you. And you try to get away with the least effort, you try to sneak around corners, but people watching you, especially in a presentation, they will realize, they will notice that you are not enjoying it, that it is part of the burden of student life to stand here and present. One idea is to try and frame it differently. You can be proud of your work. As a team, you have worked on something for several weeks, for several months. You have achieved some outcome. Yeah? And you should feel proud that you did that you went through it, that you made it as a team, that you prepared nicely for this presentation, that you practiced together, and you want to showcase all of this to your audience. So if you can radiate that you liked your project, that you worked together, that you achieved something together, that you like to explain what you did, and that you actually are sort of very positive to be sharing and to defending your work, defending in a very positive sense. A PhD thesis presentation is also called a defense. It is how you defend, how you justify that it is worth doing this work and the way how you did it was a good one. Yeah? So you present your work in a very positive light. So if you're doing like this, then this eagerness will also be seen by the audience. They see enthusiasm, they see activity, they see positivity, and they will think more positive about all this. And if supervisors and audience think positive, that's good for the last part that I want to talk about, the actual evaluation. And now that slide is too full, I agree. It's only in there so that you can also see it in the slides that you get from Moodle. It's a little bit of an evaluation framework, going into the different items like how was the plan, how was the organization of the talk, yeah, how was the preparation of the content, how was the actual performance and delivery, how was the interaction of the team with the audience, and how did they interact during the Q&A. And you see from excellent to good to not so good, what decision criterias your supervisors will apply to evaluate your presentation and your work. Yeah? No need to go through all the details right now. Have a read, discuss it with your supervisor of your project work, but that is something where, as a faculty, we also would like to apply very, very similar measures across the whole cohort, so that every project team and every individual is sort of measured against a catalog of very, very similar evaluation criteria, so that we are as objective as possible, despite also being many different individual supervisors. Okay, the slide set itself has 2 easy exercises where you can try for yourself just to be spontaneous, but use the guidance. If you want to answer such a question with a response in 2 minutes or in 3 minutes, how to plan for it, how to prepare yourself for a very short presentation to yourself in the mirror or to a friend over lunch. This is what you can practice. And we will have more opportunities to practice more exercises, a bit more sophisticated than these ones, in a workshop that we will offer, where we invite all of you that are working on projects, that will work on presentations later, that you can come in, go through these items that we have just shared in the videos, and prepare a little presentation, practice that in real life as much as we can do in 1 or 2 hours, and yeah, just make sure that you have the knowledge, the capability, and a bit of practice and confidence when you're going into your actual project presentation, and when it counts for your project and your finalization of the project in front of an audience, in front of your supervisors. Many things are just coming with practice, and giving a good presentation is one of them. Many of the lecturers, professors that you see throughout your courses, they probably haven't been good presenters in their early years. And there is surely always more work that can be spent on it. But in order to stand in front of a class for a couple of hours and present lecture slides, that takes practice. And you will see also, you will judge as the audience, you will judge on your lecturers also how well you think they transport the materials. And to improve that is of course also task of lecturers. And in this case here, it's your task for your project presentations. I hope that this guidance through the videos has helped you a bit. And I look forward to seeing you in the workshops in a couple of weeks. Thank you very much.